Hey guys, it's me, Chris again. I'm going to show you how to make some turkey meatballs. These are so delicious and healthy that you might not want to use red meat again after you see how I make these. So let me show you some of the ingredients we're going to use. First of all, you need a large mixing bowl. I got about a pound of ground turkey. I got some fresh ground pepper, kosher salt, Italian style breadcrumbs. I got my extra virgin olive oil, grated Parmesan, 2 large eggs, fresh parsley. These are 2 medium to small bell peppers, 1 red, 1 green, 1 small yellow onion. I got some garlic cloves here. I'm going to use a couple of those. And I also need a baking sheet to bake them. I just sprayed the bottom and then put in the wax paper and then sprayed a little more on top of the non-stick cooking spray. I have a medium size skillet to cook my vegetables. I'm going to preheat the oven to 350, and then I'm going to show you how we get the vegetables ready for our meat. Okay, so turkey meat now is very dry and doesn't have a lot of flavor, so we're going to combat that by making what you call a sofrito, which is basically just some vegetables, usually onions, garlic, could be peppers, celery, carrots, and it's cooked down to add flavor to any kind of a dish. So I just want to show you, I got about 2-3 tablespoons of olive oil in this pan, and I have it on low. And you need a lot of fat to add to the turkey so it doesn't come out dry. And now with my peppers, I need to make sure that they're very fine diced. So how do I do that? I'll just cut one of the sides of the green pepper off right down the rib. And then I'm going to cut as thin as I can, thin slices, long ways, like this. And then a very small dice. So I'll end up with these little cubes. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the rest of these peppers, and then I'll show you how we cut up the onion. Check it out, I got my peppers, they're finely diced, they're in the pan here, and I still have the pan on low. I want to keep it on low until I get all my vegetables added, so I still have to put in my onion. And basically the way I do my onion is to just cut off both ends. I cut it down in half like this, and then peel off the outside. And in order to get a fine dice, I'm going to make 2 cuts. This is a small onion. Not all the way through. Just 1 and then 2. Just watch your fingers. And then I cut down to make it into thin strips the other way. And then what you get is, as you go through, a nice fine dice. So I'll finish that onion, and then we'll get the garlic added in 2 seconds. Okay, so my onion is finely diced. When you get to the end here, just turn it like this, turn it down, and just cut it up into small pieces to finish it off. And then everything goes right in, right into the pan. Okay, my onion's in. Now I want to turn up the heat. This is going to go up to medium-high. And I'm going to add some seasoning. So just some kosher salt. And my fresh red pepper. Okay. I'm going to give this a stir. And then mince my garlic. I just want to show how I clean my garlic. So I take the stem end here, I cut it off, and just smash it. Peel the paper. And that's what I have here. So I'm just going to mince this up. I'm going to add 2 or 3 cloves of garlic and continue cooking this sofrito. Okay, so my sofrito is cooking down nicely. I want to get it nice and soft and translucent. I cut my garlic up really fine. You don't want big chunks of garlic, so make sure you mince it. And I just want to show you how I get my parsley ready. I don't need all this parsley. I'm going to use it for my, or most of it for my sauce, or half of it. But I basically just take my knife and kind of go down like this and shave off the leaves. And this stuff you can throw out. This is the bag I got my parsley in. I save it. I use it for all my garbage. And then I'm gonna pick out all the stems, and I'm gonna chop it down so it's nice and fine, and put it right into my bowl over here, so it's ready to be used. So I'm gonna work on the parsley, and then we'll be ready to take the next step for our turkey meat. So my sofrito is cooked for about 10 minutes. It's nice and soft. The onions are translucent, and it's ready to go into the mixing bowl. One thing you don't want to do is burn this. So whatever you do, be careful that you don't burn it. You cook it on low for longer if you need to, but just watch your temperature. I'm going to put it right in the mixing bowl where I'm going to make my meatballs, and I'm going to let it cool for about 5 minutes. Alright, so my sofrito is cooled, and we're ready to make the meatball mixture. So come here, I'll show you what I do. I put the bowl right in the sink, so when I'm done I can just wash it out. It makes for a much easier cleanup. I've added my ground turkey in there already. I got my 2 eggs here. I'm just going to whisk them up a little bit. Okay. Put the fork on the side here. The eggs go in. I'm going to add a generous amount of kosher salt. You want to make sure you get it nice and seasoned. Now the reason I let the sofrito cool like that, because I don't want the eggs to hit the hot mixture, and then possibly you could end up with scrambled eggs. So that's why I did that. I'm going to add half this parsley. That goes in. I got my Italian style breadcrumbs. I'm going to need, this is not a lot of turkey, so maybe half a cup to 3/4 of a cup. You add the same amount of grated cheese as you do breadcrumbs, good amount. Set that aside, and then I like a lot of pepper, so I'm going to add a good amount of fresh cracked pepper. Okay. And I'm going to start mixing. I'm going to start mixing it with the fork, and then when it gets together, I'll use my hand and I'll start rolling out the meatballs. So this is mixed well. Now what I did, I turned the water on, just let it trickle a little bit because I need to wet my hands. This is a very sticky mixture. And I'm going to start rolling the meatballs. And I want them to be about that size, about a 1.5 size of a golf ball. And I'm just going to line them on my tray. I'm going to roll them all up. We'll be ready to put them in the oven. So the turkey meatballs are set up. They're ready to go into the oven. Last thing I do before I bake them, though, is remember, there's not a lot of fat. There's almost no fat here. So I drizzle the tops of each one with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor, and it makes a little bit of a crust on the outside of the meatball. And then these will go in the oven, 350 degrees, about half hour, 45 minutes. But be careful, you don't want to over bake them, you'll dry them out. Remember, there's not a lot of fat, so I'll get these in the oven and then we'll try one out when they're done. Turkey meatballs cooked for exactly 40 minutes in the oven. They're done, they're perfectly done. I already put them in my sauce to finish cooking there. Now, if you don't want to cook them in the sauce, let them cool. You can put them in a big Ziploc bag and just put them right in the freezer and take them out as you need them. It's a really great thing. It's better than those frozen meatballs you get at the store. At least you know what's in it, and they're super healthy and low in fat. So I want to try this one. I'm going to cut it open. And you can see it's perfectly cooked. And you see all the vegetables in there from the sofrito. I got my Sunday sauce going here. So I'm going to take a little bit of that right over the top. Okay. And some grated cheese. All right. Time to give this a try. It's delicious. It's so healthy. There's almost no fat in there because we use turkey. And that sofrito gives it so much moisture and flavor. It's incredible. One of the best versions of a meatball you'll ever make. You gotta try it out.